When I was 18, my mom remarried my stepdad, who had a baby girl, and we became as close as any sisters as she grew up. I'm now 34 and she's nearly an adult. Last week she got outed at school, and to make a bad situation worse, her dad was mad at me and said she was lying for attention and called her names when she said it was for real. She came over to my apartment, distraught, and looking for some advice. I'm a lesbian and have been out for years. I told her I was so sorry that happened, which was crappy since she deserved to be able to decide who to tell and when. But she wasn't the only one outed. Her dad, he just outed himself as a bigot. He outed himself as someone who should never have become a parent if he wasn't ready to love and accept his own child. And her school administrators outed themselves as negligent, probably even in the legal sense. But overall, when I come out, I often out other people way harder than I out myself. It can be hard, but it can also feel empowering to take a torch to the darkness, light it for all to see, and burn it away. Just by being in the room and letting people tell on themselves, we're outing idiots. So I let them talk and then go tell whoever I darn well please. I let them become known as ignorant as they choose because that's a lot worse than being known as queer. I told her it was horrible her story was taken from her, but I hope that she knew it wasn't taken forever. It's her right to say as much or as little to whoever she wants. And if someone gossips, they don't know her heart. They reveal their ugliness. So don't let it eat at you. So document and record it if you want. Share it if you want or keep it just in case. But whatever you do, it's all your call. It always is. We talked well into the night and she was feeling way better afterward and ready to go home and face her dad again. Well, shortly after she went home, my mom called me. She said that my sister had come home and told her dad that they should agree to disagree about her issue and anything further he had to say about it spoke only to his character. And when he tried to argue, she took out her phone and started filming and saying, "Do tell you had a child and weren't ready to love it. Get a dog if you want something that'll come back begging when you hurt it." My mom called me furious because she thought I'd coached her on what to say, which I genuinely hadn't. I told her what advice I'd given and she was angry. I even said that much and asked me if it would have killed me to say that I think your dad loves her and to give him some time to understand. I was irate to hear that, honestly, because what she said was heartbreaking and it hurts to hear my mom and stepdad didn't listen. Am I the idiot for the advice I gave? Not the idiot. Your advice was quite wise and your sister was tough to respond that way to her dad. I would remind your mother and him that love is not what you say. It's not what you feel. It's what you do. Your stepdad demonstrated clearly that he doesn't love his daughter. No amount of words will fix that. He needs to look deep and decide how to act going forward. Your reply is spot on. Sometimes parents have a hard time adjusting to their child's life looking different than they pictured it, and they might not initially be as warm and accepting as they should be, but you can tell they're trying. Unfortunately, this is not any of those. He wasn't trying. He was yelling and staring her and rejecting her. It is 100% on him to apologize and fix this, pronto. It's not an OP sister to give him time when he's a raging idiot. The mom's response infuriated me as much as the dad's. Your mom is victim shaming, and that's not okay. Your dad's atrocious behavior is nobody's fault except his own. How much time does it take to understand I like girls, not boys? It isn't rocket science. Also, he loves her? Well, if this is how he typically expresses it, nobody needs that kind of love in their life. Yep, mom is in denial about the type of person she married, or she sees nothing wrong with his behavior and is trying to downplay it. Not the idiot. And OP, if this is a new discovery about your mom, I'm so sorry. This is really stupid. But my girlfriend, whom I've been with for 2 years now, has been a vegan for a few weeks now. I've supported her in her transitioning into it, but I love meat. She doesn't mind me eating meat when we're out with friends or by ourselves, and rarely talks about it on the way back, although she's a little distant. Lately, though, she's been expressing how it's making it hard for her to see others enjoy meat, while she's trying her best to commit to a lifestyle change, and that if I could try dropping meat for a week or two, she can get more solidified in it. I told her no, and that I have no problem with her being vegan, but I'm not going to give up meat as well. If she wants, we can stop going out to restaurants with friends and together to help her. She got angry at me, saying how she doesn't need to put her social life on hold and stay indoors all day because I won't make this compromise for her. I tried to explain that I wasn't trying to limit her freedom, and she can go wherever she wants, but if we're going together, most chances are I'll order meat. She's being very distant and angry at me lately, and my friends are telling me I'm being manipulative. Am I the idiot? Edit. I just wanted to add my girlfriend does not have any health issues that I know of, nor did she bring it up in the conversation about her transitioning or our argument. I really don't know if I can go a day without eating meat. It's my comfort food, and I've been stressed like crazy. I know it's a bad addiction/craving, but it's not the only thing I eat. I do eat fruits and vegetables, but often I just want a ham sandwich to just calm down. I don't know why, but I audibly laughed at I just want a ham sandwich to calm down. Not the idiot OP. She has a self-imposed dietary restriction. It's not a health issue that needs solidarity. She can go be a vegan on her own time, and pushing others to follow is the exact part of veganism everyone complains about. You are the idiot. As you wrote, she asked you for just a few weeks, and it shows you don't care enough about her and her wants for a better lifestyle. I'm not saying you don't care, but that's just how this looks. She isn't asking you to make a lifestyle change just for you to help with hers. I'm sure you can find other things to eat so she won't feel like she's being punished. Sometimes we make sacrifices for the people we love, and 1 or 2 meals that don't include meat won't kill you. I'm 99% sure she's also using this to ease you into becoming vegan. It's just 2 weeks. Turns into, that wasn't so bad, was it? Why stop now? You're both adults. Her choosing to become vegan is her decision. You choosing to eat meat is your decision. Her trying to force you to be vegan is being an idiot. She said she doesn't want to put her social life on hold, but what's her plan when her social life friends are eating meat? Does she plan on forcing them to stop too? I was a vegan for a year. I didn't force anyone else to stop eating meat. I, 37 female, am married to my husband, 38, and we have a daughter together, tween. My daughter is very small for her age and sometimes gets treated like a younger child. She loves to hop up in my or my husband's lap and cuddle with us on the couch or in a chair. I thought that maybe she may be too old for that sort of thing and maybe I'm hurting her by letting her continue. Yesterday, she tried to hop in my lap and cuddle and I told her she was too old for that and to get off me. She got really upset, got off of me, and went to her room and slammed the door. She hasn't tried to get in my lap since and things are tense between us. She doesn't talk to me unless she has to and when I hugged her goodnight last night, she didn't hug me back. I feel really guilty because I obviously hurt her feelings, but I feel like she might be too old to sit on my lap. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. She's not going to want to cuddle with you much longer, so you maybe have a year left and you're throwing that time away instead of cherishing it. Now she doesn't feel like or isn't comfortable hugging her own parents. What a terrible shame and sad thing to do to your own child, OP. Yeah, she no longer has a year. It's over. OP, you handled that terribly. You made her feel like she's done something wrong. Many people sit on their parents' lap at all ages. I've seen full-grown adults do it. She's a child. No wonder she's upset with you. How did you tell her? Did you literally say, "You're too old, get off of me"? Because if you literally told her to get off with no warning, it's no wonder why she perceived that as a rejection and is now completely confused as to what sort of physical affection is okay and what'll get her snapped at. OP, there is no age limit for parental affection. I'll start holding her when I'm too big for my mom's lap. My 16-year-old still curls up for snuggles. I'm 35 and my sister's 38. We still jokingly get in my mom's lap and cuddle. What the heck, OP? Your kid obviously loves you. Shows you love through cuddling up with you guys and feels comfortable. What you did by saying this basically makes her feel embarrassed and bad about showing you guys love. Yikes. You should feel guilty. My sister, 21, and the 18 female, always fought when we were little. She never wanted a sibling and I didn't necessarily want her to be my older sister either. My parents tried to make us get a loan but stopped after a couple of years, realizing that there was no point. I've been obsessed with getting straight A's since I was a little girl. I only hung out with a few friends and spent my free time studying or playing sports throughout high school while my sister struggled in school, hung out with the wrong people, and got into some very bad stuff. This didn't make her a person, but it made her make some very dumb decisions. One of her dumb decisions led to my nephew, who's now a toddler. I put aside my differences with my sister and have a fantastic relationship with him. I babysit him all the time and come to play with him while my sister sleeps. She works overnights. My issue is that my parents and sister want me to give up my car to her so that she can have a safer car since hers is old and keeps breaking down. My car is something I worked my butt off for and I really don't want to give it up. My parents bought it for me as a birthday gift since my grades had been so good throughout high school and I got into a very good college. I spent countless nights staying up till 3 a.m. studying and I gave up on time with my friends and boyfriend just so that I could keep my grades up. So honestly, I view this car as my baby and a product of my hard work. My sister and her boyfriend have been texting me all week about it. She's been telling me it's only fair since I was the reason our parents never paid attention to her and just because I got good grades doesn't mean I deserve the car. She told me I'd be putting her son in danger if I kept making them drive their unsafe car. My parents told me it was completely my decision, but I felt they wanted me to give it to her. I know they most likely can't afford a brand new or even slightly used car now, especially since they're going to help pay for half of my college. I understand she needs a safer car, but it isn't my responsibility to provide it for her. As I said, I worked so hard for it and I'll be left carless if I do let her have it. I want my nephew to be safe, but shouldn't that be my parents' job, not mine? It is unfair for her, but she chose to live that life and putting the blame on me just feels wrong. Just because I got good grades doesn't mean I deserve the car. Literally the reason you have the car. Some people. Not the idiot. It's not your responsibility to fix the consequences of your sister's bad decisions. I think your sister and her boyfriend are idiots here. They're expecting you to trade your hard-earned car for her crappy car that you'll have to sink money into every time it breaks down. This is not your responsibility to make her feel better about being ignored by your parents. She's manipulating you, and allowing her boyfriend to text you is just the manipulator of cherry on top. If I could tell you from the experience of having a screwed-up sibling who got every chance under the sun, I was expected to suffer for his mistakes. Don't trade it. Don't allow her to guilt you. Don't allow yourself to dwell on it. Do graduate college. Do continue to have a relationship with your nephew. Your sister may try to leverage him against you. Expect it and just continue on with your success. Your parents are stuck here and likely don't want you to trade it, but your sister's probably a monster about it. My goodness. My sister has been texting me all week about it, and her boyfriend too. If you have time to text me, you can find a good enough job to get a newer car yourselves. She's the one who's choosing not to get a more reliable car within her own means or working on getting to those means. Stop looking at the car as the reward for good grades. The real reward is the schooling and scholarship you'll get from good grades. The car is just the icing on the cake. Yeah, at 21 years old, if she's adult enough to be a parent, then she's adult enough to figure out how to get reliable transportation without crying to mommy and daddy to force a sibling to give her their car. Heed my words. Do not give her your car. You do, and your sister will walk all over you for the rest of your lives. If she needs one that badly, she can save up or get a loan from the bank. Not guilt trip you just for existing. My wife and I had our first child a few months ago. My sister lives 2 hours away and has seen my daughter once. My wife, kid, and I made plans to travel the 2 hours to visit my sister. I thought this would be a good opportunity for my sister to visit with my daughter, and we'd go out to eat. My sister has 3 dogs who are her world and have free rein in her place, much to my chagrin at times. They're allowed on the couch, in the kitchen, and everywhere. I visited her and not sat on the couch because I don't want dog hair on me. We've had family vacations where she brought her dogs. Everything had to be dog-friendly or centric, and I didn't enjoy that trip. I've passed on future vacations. There was no point in trying to talk her out of bringing them, plus I didn't want to spend my vacation with her dogs. When we arrived, I knocked, heard the barking, and told my wife to hold off bringing my daughter inside until I knew the dogs were in another room. Sister opens the door, greets me, and says come inside. I asked whether she minded putting the dogs in another room. She pauses, goes absolutely not, and looks baffled that I would even request that. I told her I wasn't ready for my daughter to be around 3 dogs. It's only for about an hour, then we're going to lunch. After a bit of back and forth, she obviously won't put the dogs away. I just say, all right, I'm gonna head home. I help my wife put my daughter in the car and start to leave. The whole time my sister was flipping out, saying what the heck. She says she didn't even get to see her niece, says I'm an idiot, etc. So after 5 minutes at my sister's house, we drove the 2 hours back home. I had 24 texts and phone calls from her that I didn't acknowledge. So was I the idiot in this situation? You are the idiot. Why would you go to your sister's house if you don't like dogs? Of course the dogs will have the run of the place. It's their place, not yours. Sure, your sister could have been more accommodating, but she didn't have to. And now you're ignoring her after you were so rude to her. It sounds as though your sister considers her dogs to be family. She clearly loves them and treats them well. She wants them to be comfortable in their home. That's their business in their home. You're absolutely allowed to not like the dogs and not to want to be around them. But you don't get to dictate what someone does in their home. You get to do things however you want in your home, just as your sister gets to in her home. You are the idiot. Disagree. An infant's immune system is not developed. I can see him not wanting to bring a newborn into a hotbed of allergens. Also, a bit unsafe to introduce a newborn baby to 3 unfamiliar dogs with no newborn experience at all. I grew up with dogs, and whenever someone came over, baby or no baby, we'd put them in the yard, in the front room or in one of the bedrooms, until everyone was situated and comfortable with the dogs being introduced to the situation. What I don't understand is why OP never mentioned this to his sister before the 2-hour drive to her place, or just went ahead and met her for lunch at a safer place instead. If I were his wife, I'd be livid about the whole mess. So clearly everyone's the idiot here. Yeah, what the heck is going on here? OP made a mistake by not sorting this out ahead of time, but the sister had a chance to see her niece and declined. I love dogs and cats and pigs and goats, but animals are dangerous. Being a parent is scary, and it doesn't sound like OP had reason to believe these animals had any history with